Welcome, everyone. I'm going to ask Molly to do the roll call, please.
Miss Allen?
Here.
Miss Clemens?
Here.
Mr. Harding?
Here.
Mr. Hendon?
Here.
Mr. Olson?
Here.
Miss Redden?
Here.
Miss Reynolds?
Here.
All right, we ready?
I'm ready.
Go ahead and stand up. Yeah,
right.
sure. Yeah, sure. Make it real official. I like this.
I, Colleen Reynolds,
I, Colleen Reynolds,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as trustee
as trustee
in and for the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Library
in and for the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
and in accordance with the laws now in effect
in accordance with the laws now in effect
and hereinafter to be enacted
and hereinafter to be enacted
during my continuance in said office.
during my continuance in said office.
All right.
Yeah. Let's come over and get you sign that. You wouldn't notarize it.
So I was going to ask you. No?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
All right, so we have no public comments this evening. And then we will go to Paula and her report.
Thank you, everybody. Hi, I'm Paula Brown-Heeger. I'm the library's Eva Jane Romaine-Coombe director. I do want to do one quick order of business around the table. We have Kathy Box sitting in today for Brett Bonfield from our operations. Brett had to leave last minute. Kathy doesn't have a name tag, but she is supposed to be here. She has Brett down there by her side. She said,
false advertising, so I'm not Brett.
I was getting ready to ask, who is that?
Who is that person here? Thank you, everyone. My report is longer than usual today, so I will read through this. And we do have a couple resolutions that Karen, Ms. Clemens, our president, is going to read into the record as we get to that part of my report. First, I would like to welcome Colleen Reynolds, who is our newest appointee to the library board. I'll do a quick bio. Colleen is a partner at DSD Advisors, LLC, government relations consulting affiliate of the firm that partners with public, private, nonprofit clients to achieve their public policy goals at the local, state, and federal level. She's responsible for advocacy and communication strategy development and execution on behalf of all DSD clients. Before joining DSD Advisors, she served as Director of Communication and Community Affairs for a City Council member. Her experience includes shaping and guiding the city's $1.4 billion annual budget, managing constituent services and internal stakeholder relationships, directing both internal and external communications, and advising on legislative policy and issue management. She created, executed, and oversaw office initiatives that received national recognition. Colleen holds an honors BA in philosophy, politics, and the public program from Xavier University. Where she served as
I feel warmly welcomed.
See.
I knew that would get a reaction.
They're just sore down. I also graduated from Xavier.
Oh.
Right.
Granddaughter's there now.
Yes.
There we go.
She is she's active in the community, serving as president of the Oakley Community Council Board of Trustees and a newly appointed member of Cincinnati and Hamilton County Library Board of Trustees. She is also an elected precinct executive serving on the Hamilton County Democratic Executive Committee. She resides in Oakley. Welcome, Colleen.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome. Okay. Next, we have an update about the Price Hill Art Project. As part of our Price Hill branch renovation, many of you may remember we are working to create a parklet in that large green space in front of the branch. We have, again, worked with the local nonprofit organization Artworks in crafting an RFP to invite submissions from artists that will help create an anchoring, engaging presence for audiences of all ages as part of that parklet. There is a focus on engaging local artists, particularly from the Price Hill community, which has developed a neighborhood focus on fostering creativity. Our Works and Library staff reviewed the submissions and selected Price Hill resident Michael, how do you say his last name, Molly? Michael, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Michael Kopage. Mr. Kopage's submission was the only one that specifically included community engagement, something we know as priority to Price Hill residents, as we saw during our own work during that renovation of that branch. Tentatively titled Off to the Wizard, his concept imagines the sidewalk leading up to the library colored to mimic the yellow brick road from the story. The road would be flanked by fluted decorative street poles on both sides. Each pole will have a street sign oriented north, south, east, and west. The orientation will create intersection that prompts conversation, provokes curiosity, and speaks about the period of time we live in while simultaneously incorporating the language we use. His plan is to meet with the community members to receive input for the language at the intersection so it is reflective of the place. The design will be engaging and welcoming, easy to navigate by individuals of all abilities, and attractive to a diverse and multi-generational audience. A 3D rendering has been requested by the artist for the next step, with the project continuing through the spring, along with implementation of other elements of that parklet, seating and plantings. The current block sculpture, some of you may remember that, it will remain at the branch and be relocated as part of the parklet design. This effort to include art as part of the project is made possible thanks to the very generous funding from the Library Foundation. Okay, a little bit of an update about state and local legislative activities. Kathy Bach, Regional Manager for Capital Projects, who has just been named our new Public Services Director, and I attended the Cincinnati Chamber's State House Drive-In in Columbus on November 30th. At the event, we had the chance to hear from and talk with members of the General Assembly. Additional speakers provided info about the latest developments on workforce and economic development and child care accessibility. A little bit of an update about Ohio Senate and House leadership. Both caucuses in the Senate recently announced their selections for leadership positions in the upcoming General Assembly that starts in January. The Senate Republican caucus elected President Matt Hoffman to retain his position as President of the Senate. The Senate Democratic caucus elected Senator Nikki Antonio as the minority leader. In the House, members selected Representative Derek Marin to be House Speaker beginning next year. The Democratic caucus re-elected Representative Allison Rousseau as the minority leader. I have been over on the west side, as noted in my October report. I have been visiting village, township, and trustee meetings on the western side of our county in order to update those leaders and residents about the progress of our facility master plan. Many thanks to the leaders and trustees of Green Township, Delhi Township, and the village of Addiston, who provided me time at the recent meetings for updates. These visits will continue in 2023. OLC Government Relations Committee appointment. I will begin serving on the OLC's Government Relations Committee in January for a 3-year term. Having served 6 years as a member of the Board of Directors of the OLC, I am term limited out and pleased to be able to maintain my presence in the government relations at the state level with this new appointment. Just as a side note, Ms. Bach has now started to serve on the OLC Board of Directors, so
Congratulations.
yeah, 6 years of fun up there. Just as a note about Ohio's public library levies, Ohioans approved 95% of public library levies this past November. They continue to express their support for libraries at the poll on November 8th. They approved 18 out of 19 public library ballot issues. The successful library ballot issues included 13 renewals, 2 additional or new levies, 2 replacements, and 1 renewal with an increase. The average voter approval rating was 66%.
Who voted it down?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I'd have to look.
Sorry.
No, it was honestly, Mr. Hendon, I think it was a very close vote, like one of those smaller communities where it was like 20 votes. It was incredibly tight.
Wow.
Yes, I'll have to look at that one. Imagination Library reception with the Governor and First Lady. I attended a reception hosted by Governor and First Lady celebrating the success for Dolly Parton's Imagination Library of Ohio at their home in Columbus on December 7th. The invitation was extended to primary providers of the service. In the case of Hamilton County, that's actually our Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center, and to other major local partners, including our library. I was invited by Dr. Greg not gonna say his last name correctly.
Smallest.
Smallest, thank you, Mr. Hendon. The medical director for the Imagination Library, who thanked us for our, quote, great partnership that we have with the library enrolling children in the Imagination Library and promoting literacy. Cincinnati Preservation Association Award for Walnut Hills. Every year, the CPA, the Cincinnati Preservation Association, celebrates and recognizes outstanding accomplishments in preservation. This year, they enthusiastically selected our Walnut Hills Library for the award recognizing excellence in institutional rehabilitation. Yay! This award recognizes institutional and public buildings that have been substantially restored or rehabilitated and comply with the Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation. Walnut Hills Senior Branch Manager Ashley Barnhill, I think many of you met her at the Walnut Hills opening. She and I attended the annual award ceremony on December 4th, and we received that award. Another recognition, We Thrive. David Siders, our Community Engagement Coordinator, was nominated as a We Thrive Community Champion for his work on behalf of the library as a devoted partner and powerful ally who supports and accelerates local community health and safety efforts. David, who was honored for his work with the library in supporting public health initiatives across the county, he and I attended the We Thrive recognition event on December 6th. Many of you may remember David. He's talked before about all the work he did around the COVID test, so that was really nice to see David receive additional recognition. SHRM Concert Conference. In October, several senior leaders attended the Society for Human Resource Management, SHRM, Inclusion Conference. Kyla Harden, Chief Human Resources Officer, Brett Bonfield, Chief Operating Officer, and Jen Rushi, Staff Development Coordinator, were able to attend in person, while I and Dr. Ashley Hills, Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Culture, and also Holbrook Sample, Chief Technology and Logistic Officer, we attended the conference virtually. The conference focused on building better and more inclusive workplaces, highlighting the importance that belonging plays in DEI and culture. Topics included employment practices, sustaining cultural transformation, DEI policy design, and inclusive hiring. Some of our key takeaways included the importance of both mentorship and sponsorship, the distinction between the two, placing a focus on building different career paths based on credentialed skills, creating tracks to grow the technical skills of higher level positions. Leadership across the board should drive DEI changes. It can't be the sole responsibility of one person, and practical strategies for managing setbacks, stagnation, and DEI burnout. Although we have covered quite a bit of ground in our DEI journey so far, this conference helped us understand where we are lacking and can use more attention. As a result of these and other reflections, senior leadership has been discussing how we will continue our program in 2023. Nominating committee, a bit of business here. We are adding one committee to our board committee list this year, so those assignments will be noted in our upcoming annual meeting, a nominating committee. This committee will consist of the annual officers of the board and will serve to highlight and recommend potential future trustees to our appointing bodies. Now, we have some resolutions. So you have two resolutions today, one honoring former trustee Monica Donath-Conan and another honoring the library's first writer-in-residence, Kathy Y. Wilson. And I have asked Ms. Clemens if she would please read these into the record. So I'll turn it over to Ms. Clemens to read them.
All right.
Yes.
Whereas Monica Donath-Conan was first appointed to the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library Board of Trustees in 2015 by the Hamilton County Commissioners, and whereas Ms. Conan served for 7 years as a valued member of the library's Board of Trustees, including President of the Board in 2020 and Vice President in 2019, and whereas Ms. Conan has been a staunch vocal supporter of the library during our advocacy for local and state funding, and whereas Ms. Conan served as board president during the pandemic year of 2020, providing immediate, consistent, and caring support to staff, and in particular to the executive director during calls and discussions, some of them late in the evening, to facilitate immediate and unprecedented decisions about library service and safety. And whereas while Ms. Conan served on the board, the library received national recognition, including consecutive 5-star ratings among public libraries in our population and budget categories from Library Journal in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021. And whereas Ms. Conan served when library use reached record levels, resulting in the library ranking in the top 5 of busiest library systems in the United States in 2014, 2015, 2017, and 2018, and the second busiest in the United States in 2016. And where Ms. Conan supported the building renovation and improvement of library locations across Hamilton County communities, including the Loveland Branch expansion, energy retrofit project at Main Library, roofing replacements for 7 branches, relocation of the Green Hills Branch Distribution Center, Anderson, Avondale, Clifton, Deer Park, Groesbeck, Downtown Main Library, Pleasant Ridge, Price Hill, Reading, St. Bernard, and Walnut Hills. And whereas Ms. Conan supported the ongoing creation of accessible spaces and upholding the library's mission of connecting people with the world of ideas and information. And whereas throughout her tenure on the board, Ms. Conan continually demonstrated strong and vocal care and concern for the staff by advocating for fair policies, salaries, and benefits. And now therefore be it resolved in recognition of her years of committed service, the members of the Board of Trustees thank and commend Monica Donath Conan for her dedicated service to the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library.
Amen.
Now we have everyone.
Yep. Ready?
Yep.
Whereas Kathy Y. Wilson began her literary journey as an employee at the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library, and whereas Ms. Y. Wilson's experiences as a library employee were foundational to her literary worldview, and Ms. Y. Wilson was appointed as the first writer in residence for the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library and the Library Foundation in 2014. And Ms. Y. Wilson's residency served as the model for the program's community engagement. And whereas Ms. Y. Wilson has continued her service to the Writer in Residence program as a member of the selection committee in 2019 and 2021, and whereas Ms. Y. Wilson has been a passionate advocate for the library and the literary community in Cincinnati, and whereas Ms. Y. Wilson delighted in providing support and advice to past and future writers in residence. And now, therefore, be it resolved in recognition of her years of service and advocacy, the members of the Board of Trustees honor and commend Kathy Y. Wilson for her dedicated service to the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library and send its deepest condolences to her family.
Thank you. Okay, I will go back to my report for my final section here, which is just really a thank you to our community, our staff, and of course all of you, our trustees, for your continued support this year and into 2023. Recently, I had the honor of being named to Cincinnati Magazine's Cincinnati 300 list of influential people shaping our region. Honors such as this are not possible without the hard work and support of the individuals who make up our staff and leadership. I appreciate you. Public libraries are in a period of transformation and change, and bold leadership is required to navigate these challenging times. Our role as champions of democracy and access remained constant. This year, I served as an election poll worker for the November elections. I was reminded how seriously our community takes their role as participants in our democratic institutions and how important the library is to this part of our national identity and life. I really look forward to working with all of the trustees in 2023, and again, thank you very much for your support. Back to you, Ms. Clements.
Thank you, Paula. All right, now we will hear Mr. Hendon's.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I need a motion for Paula's report.
I move that we accept Paula's report.
Second.
Ms. Allen?
Here.
Ms. Clements?
Yes.
Mr. Harding?
Yes.
Mr. Hendon?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Ms. Redden?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Here.
Aye, just say
Round
aye.
two.
Aye. Ladies.
Now we will move into Mr. Hendon's to present the Facilities, Finance, and Audit Committee report.
Thank Thank you. The Facilities and Finance and Audit Committee met on December 7, 2022 at the Walnut Hills Branch Library. Committee Chair, myself, committee members Nadine Allen, Greg Olson were also in attendance. Staff members Paula Bramheger and Molly DeFossi were in attendance. It is a recommendation of the committee that the board take the following action. Main library project update. The interior renovation work of the main library continues. Demolition has been completed and structural steel to support the new stair has been installed. Confirm the following change orders to modify interior renovation GMP for Turner Construction. There's $349,159, $28,713, and a credit of $17,533. The installation of a new entry and with a vestibule off the North Plaza is under construction. North parking lot modifications are progressing. The masonry work is almost complete and the lot will remain in current condition until the fence arrives in early '23. All right, Forest Park Branch Property Exchange. The City of Forest Park has completed the parcel layout and working to record it with the county and prepare the necessary deed. We continue to work with them to develop a plan to resolve electric lines on the property. We need to authorize extension of closing date for the Forest Park property up to February 14th at 2023 at the library's discretion. Now, the Hyde Park Branch elevator replacement and renovations. The board approved the estimate GMP at the October board meeting. Details are still being finalized and work is expected to begin in the next few weeks. During the permitting process, GCWW raised a concern about the property being on multiple parcels. We are working with the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office to consolidate parcels and update the library's name. We need to authorize the Eva Jane Remain Corrector to execute the necessary documents to consolidate the parcels of the Hyde Park branch. West End branch renovations. The architect is finalizing the details of the construction documents for the West End. New design features a relocated entry with vestibule to improve the access to the building and increase usable square footage. All the restrooms will be fully accessible and the interior layout and furnishing will enhance both the staff and customer experience. We need to approve a design assist agreement with Turner Construction in advance of GMP for the West End branch expected in February 2023 with a vestibule component in the amount of $200,000 in order to minimize the duration of the building closure based on materials that may have a long lead time. Now, the Madisonville branch accessibility. Construction is almost complete on the building with the leased space with the exception of the installation electric panel. The ongoing supply chain issues have delayed for delivery for several months. The current anticipated ship date is early December. We expect to take possession of space in mid-January 2023 with the opening in late January. We need to confirm the following change orders to modify interior renovations GMP for Megan Construction. Deduct to use the mechanical chase of plumb, $3,620. Modify ceiling design work with windows, $1,625. Required design modifications to rework existing conditions, $4,712. Green Township.
Mr. Hendon, I just want to give a little update to that one. The panel did not ship. Right now they're targeting a ship date of the 29th of December. We are working with Megan Construction. We've brought in the architect and the engineer to see what some options may be, and we're also working with our attorney. So it is.
Where's the panel coming from?
Jeff, where is it coming from, the panel?
China?
Somewhere far away.
Where?
Juarez.
Mexico.
Go down.
Whose is it?
Field trip.
What?
Can we go down?
Eaton?
United Electric is the company under Megan. So that, we just wanted to update the report to note that, but we are working on it.
So everybody pray for an electrical panel.
No kidding.
Santa will bring us.
Yeah.
I have
Greg and
it.
I are volunteers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, and you guys might be back by the February board meeting.
Yeah,
So,
good thing we moved that.
I'll
way.
get them as far as
That we're on
San
our
Diego.
own. What could go wrong?
Let's go on to the Green Township branch refresh. The Green Township branch closed at the end of August to complete interior refresh and improve accessibility. Work is complete and the branch is scheduled to reopen on December the 10th. Needed to confirm the following change orders to modify the agreement with Let's Construction for the Green Township. Additional paying of steel being in the ceiling, $7,905. I did attend the opening of the Green Township branch and it looks terrific. It really is good. All right, Walnut Hills Branch accessibility. The branch has been open since October 2022. There's several punch list items that are being worked on, but overall the new branch has been very well received and the staff is getting accustomed to providing library service to new expanded space. We need to confirm the following change order and modify Walnut Hills GMP for making construction. Additional sidewalk concrete, $17,059. We continue to work with Model Group to opportunities to maximize the adjacencies of our two properties. The division of the necessary parcels has been approved by City of Cincinnati. We're working with Model Group on agreement for site improvement prior to completing the exchange. Now, planning for 2023. GMP status of capital projects. Work at the main library will continue through 2023. In addition to other projects noted in the report, we have begun feasibility studies on both the extension of Delhi Township branch, accessibility improvements as Shivia potential projects for 2024 and beyond. Design options for a possible addition of parking lot improvements for Sims are also underway, with hopes of complete work in 2024. As originally planned, we front-loaded the funding for the facility master plan to be available dollars for implementation will decrease. Life cycle replacements, including branch refreshes and furniture replacement. 2023 will begin ongoing maintenance work at Avondale and hope to work on 2 other branch refresh projects as resources permit. Now, for the calendar year 2023, authorize the Eva Jane Remain Director to publish bid requests and enter into agreements with lowest possible bidders for projects with a construction estimate of less than $1,500,000 that will involve design professionals with fees of less than $50,000. This is a continuation of the authorization for 2022 and 2021. We'll keep projects on track and not hinder our timing of board meetings. All bids are reviewed by the chair of the Facilities, Finance, and Audit Committee and will report to the board meeting. Now, revisions of the 2023 estimated resources and annual appropriations. General Fund confirmed the following appropriations increase to account for actual activity in the General Fund to accelerate planning 23 technology expenses into 2022 based on funding available. Now, the supplies increased by $275,000, so increase in expenses, $275,000. Building and Repair Fund confirmed the following appropriation change to account for the actual activity in the Building and Repair Fund. Supplies increased by $50,000, building improvements decreased by $50,000. Revision of Permanent Fund principal balances. Approved revision of Permanent Trust Fund principal balances based on donations received in 2022. From the ABLE, 2022 donations of $550,000. From King, $100,000. So the principal for ABLE is $103,922, and King is $27,620. Now, 2022 annual appropriations. Authorized revisions to general fund appropriations as needed from now until the end of the year to close out the finals for 2022. Any revision made will be reported to board in February 2023. 2022 unencumbered balance. Approved that all unencumbered funds be carried forward. The general fund is 2031-22 in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code section 3375.4L states that Library Board of Trustees may, at the end of the fiscal year, unless doing so would be contrary to law, set aside an unencumbered surplus remaining for the purpose of any other fund of the Free Public Library under its jurisdiction for that purpose, including creating or increasing a special building or repair fund and for operating the library or acquiring equipment and supplies. We're anticipating an unencumbered balance of approximately 25 to 26 million to carry forward to 2023. An updated estimate will be included in the final report from the committee and the board at the December 13th meeting. This includes establishing an operating contingency of $2,150,000, representing the allowable 3% of the budget, and approximately 23 to 25 million available for operations in 2023, which is available for operations including transfers to the building repair fund.
Molly, do you have an update on that?
No, that is the update. I should
Yeah.
have taken out that sentence.
That's okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that is the updated amount.
All right. An updated credit card policy. The board approved the credit card policy on December 11th, 2018. The current authorized individuals with specific spending limits are the fiscal officer with a credit limit of $25,000, Eva Jane Remain, Coom Director with a credit line of $5,000, Material Selection and Acquisition Manager with a credit limit of $15,000. We're to approve modification of credit card policy at 2 positions, which are stated at credit limits of the policy. The Chief Human Resource Officer with a credit of $5,000, the Special Events Coordinator with a credit limit of $5,000. Now I need a recommendation for approval of those.
I'd make a motion to approve.
I second.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Harding?
Yes.
Mr. Hendon?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Ms. Redden?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, for information only, ongoing maintenance, Pleasant Ridge and Coreyville. The majority of exterior maintenance work at Pleasant Ridge is complete. The interior plaster repair and painting is underway. The project is on schedule to be completed in February 2023. The Coreyville branch closed in mid-November. Exterior excavation is underway to prepare for waterproofing. The interior plaster repair and preparing the build out of new space is ongoing. We're planning for an April 2023 opening as long as we don't encounter supply chain issues. Windows currently have a long lead time.
We're just warning you.
Why couldn't they just go to Home Depot and buy some windows?
We're gonna have to start asking that question, Mr. Hanson.
Because of what the architects specify. All right, Forest Park branch replacement. We're continuing to work with the architect SHP and the construction manager at Risk Turner Construction on design. We anticipate receiving an updated cost estimate for the next few weeks and then moving into construction documents. Plans to have guaranteed maximum price for the first quarter of 2023 with construction beginning shortly thereafter. The Deer Park branch. Although the branch has been open for almost a year, we continue to work on some space items. Recently, large seating unit central service point was modified by reducing their height to match design intent. Library has been working with the architect to resolve sound issues between the study rooms. Now, the annual request for qualifications. Library must annually request statements of qualifications from all these 3 types of professional services in order to hire an architect, surveyor, or an engineer for a project with professional service fees of less than $50,000. In the past, we have published a formal notice in the newspaper and on our website. This has created a great deal of confusion with firms or contractors associated that request for a specific project. After discussion with our attorney, we will request update qualifications directly from all firms who submitted in 2022 and maintain an ongoing request on our public website instead of past approach. This will meet the objectives of this requirement. And that concludes my report.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to accept Mr. Hendon's report.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Hendon?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Ms. Redden?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
All right, on to the Human Resources Committee report. Judge Allen, you're up.
Greetings. The Human Resources Committee met on December 7th, 2022 at the Walnut Hills Branch Library. Committee Chair Nadine Allen and committee members Diane Cunningham-Redden and Christopher Harding, as well as board member Greg Olson, were also in attendance. Staff members Paula Bramheger and Kyla Hardin, our Chief Human Resources Officer, were also in attendance. It is the recommendation of the committee that the board accept the following recommendations. 2022 performance year merit increases. Under our current compensation plan, staff are eligible to receive pay increases based on their performance reviews, which are completed each year between February and March, and evaluate work done during the prior year. In consideration of the substantial cost and inflation rate increases not seen in decades, an increase to the total overall merit budget is recommended. In recognition of the immediate and substantial impact that the sharp rise in inflation has on those earners in jobs graded at the lower end of our pay scale, and as a part of our strategic policy of investing in staff while also addressing disparities through policies, structures, and practices, a grade-based sliding scale between 2% and 5% is recommended. The recommended sliding scale is shown in Exhibit A, and that is attached. To adequately recognize exceptional performance, we will include an additional amount of 0.25% for manager's discretion in recognizing exceptional performers. It is also recommended that staff who are currently at the maximum of their pay range, often referred to as red circled, receive a one-time lump sum payment of up to the maximum amount allotted based on the sliding scale of their annual pay based on performance. The Eva Jane Romaine Coombe Director will be eligible for a merit increase of up to 2% with the ability to receive up to 0.25% for board discretion in recognizing exceptional performance. The funding associated with this plan will be included in the budget outlined in the Facilities, Finance, and Audit Report.
Judge Allen, might I show Exhibit A just temporarily?
Yes, show Exhibit A.
Yeah.
I can read that. Would you read
Oh,
that?
no, that's okay.
Okay.
I think I just wanted to make sure
Exhibit
that,
A does show the grades and the scale and the proposed changes.
just so everyone sees what we meant when we say sliding scale. It's a little bit easier when you look at the numbers.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Staff bonuses in recognition of our hardworking staff, as well as the extremely high inflation environment discussed above. A bonus is recommended for all current staff. The bonus structure is recommended to be tiered as follows: $1,000 for regular full-time staff, $500 for regular part-time staff, $125 for regular less than 20-hour staff and current substitute staff who have worked a minimum of 40 hours as of November 26, 2022. Staff will receive these bonuses on the December 15, 2022 pay. As noted in the Facilities, Finance, and Audit Committee report, the merit increases and the staff bonuses are well within the 2023 budget. Affordable parking stipend. As mentioned in the August board report, we are recommending that an affordable parking stipend be included in our current pay and administration guidelines. In discussions with other urban public libraries throughout the country, it was found that many central or main libraries located in downtown areas offered some sort of stipend to staff working at those locations. The stipend will assist in offsetting the additional costs associated with working at the main library and any other locations that do not offer parking at no charge. These stipends are taxable and will be contingent upon the number of days that a staff member is typically scheduled to work on location. The current stipend amounts are shown in Exhibit B. This stipend is taxable and will be paid on the first day pay following the month prior. That is, the stipend for January parking will be paid on the first pay in February. And did you want to show that one?
Yes, thank you, Judge Allen. I'll bring that on down here so people can see Exhibit B.
Exhibit B is right there, as shown. So Full-time people will receive $75 a month, 24-hour workers will receive $45 a month, and 20-hour workers will receive $37.50 per month. For remote workers, 1 day a month will be $60, and for remote 2-day workers will receive $45 per month. Thank you. Paid time off. In an effort to streamline our paid time off policy, a revision of wording around time that is considered work out or hours worked is recommended. The current policy individually lists all types of hours considered hours worked. It is recommended to remove this list of individual types of hours and replace it with the statement, hours worked includes all hours paid to the staff member with the exception of lump sum payments upon departure. The library reserves the right to suspend approvals for unseen system-wide extended closures. This will eliminate the need for continual policy revisions when new staff benefits and/or pay codes are added. The proposed policy is shown in Exhibit C, and the current policy is shown in Exhibit D. And are you going to show that?
It's up to you. Those are very lengthy and they're not nearly
It's
as exciting
very
as the
lengthy.
numbers. They will be in the public
It
documents.
will be, please refer to that. But I think everyone knows that this definition has been revised and is more workable and feasible for everyone. Sick leave policy. A revision to our sick leave policy is recommended to align sick leave accruals to the regular hours a staff member works in a pay period. Currently, staff who do not fully meet their scheduled hours in a pay period do not accrue sick leave. This change will benefit staff by allowing the accrual of sick leave hours based on the hours that they actually work during that pay period. This revision will now align with how paid time off accruals are generated as well. And I now would like to move for, I'm going to move for approval of these policies.
Second.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Hendon?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Ms. Redden?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Thank you.
This is public information only. Public Service Leadership Certification Program. In alignment with our strategic priority of healthy culture, we have been exploring ways to open new leadership paths for all staff, as this has been the feedback we have heard most from staff, particularly those interested in advancement and additional supervisor responsibilities, but do not have an MLS, MLIS degree. Through the year, we have worked to craft a pilot program around this concept of finding an effective avenue for advancement that could open up opportunities for a variety of individuals to move into leadership. In partnership with the professional curriculum designers from Cincinnati State, we have crafted a curriculum that speaks to the unique needs of a public service leadership role like those we have at CHPL. Our goal is to select participants based on an application and interview process to begin in the fall of 2023 and to offer full funding for this development. Completion of this program will result in receiving a public service leadership certificate. This certificate, or commitment to pursue this certificate, will be a path for our staff who do not hold an MLS or MLIS to meet the qualifications to apply for leadership positions in management and supervisory roles in public service leadership that previously excluded those who do not have the minimum qualification of an MLS or MLIS. This pilot public service leadership certification and program is intended to create a supported, credentialed skill path that speaks to what our public service leaders of today need, while coupling this with library experience and mentorship in this organization. We hope that this will provide a more equitable and inclusive approach to hiring leaders in the years to come. Staff Morale Wellness Challenge. Beginning in October, the staff morale team conducted a fun and engaging wellness challenge to promote overall staff health, connection, and support of one another. At the start of the challenge, the staff morale team provided staff with a booklet of recipes, healthy living tips, and a list of activities that could be completed to earn points. These point totals could then be shared on the Wellness Challenge virtual channel, with the weekly winners receiving prizes and library swag. partition, and the challenge was strong, with over 100 staff taking part. United Way Community Shares campaign results. The United Way and Community Shares annual campaigns ended on October 14th. The final numbers received from United Way and Community Shares are United Way $1,009.78, Community Shares $1,200. Staff Recognition Program. We are in the process of planning our 10th annual Staff Recognition Program. Our goal is to hold this event in May of 2023. More details will be shared as the date and location are confirmed. Now, Eva Jane Romaine Cone Director Review Process. In an effort to review the last year's performance of Eva Jane Romaine Cone Director as it pertains to strategic priorities as well as core competencies that lead to fulfilling the mission and strategic plan of the library. An established formal annual review process of the director facilitated by the Board of Trustees was concluded. And that completes this report.
I'd like to make a motion to accept.
Second.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Clements?
Yes.
Mr. Harding?
Yes.
Mr. Hendon?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Ms. Redden?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Following reports are for informational items. Operations Committee. Ms. Reddy.
Thank you very much. Featured manager is Ben Lathrop. Ben Lathrop completed his MLIS at the University of Iowa and began working in public libraries in 2005. Over the past 14 years, Ben has held management positions in Butler County Fairfield and Oxford Lane Libraries and at CHPL's Walnut Hills and Covedale Branch Libraries and the Information and Reference Department of the main library. He has been an active member of numerous special project teams, including mobile service, program standards, information experts, usage analysis, passport service expansion, customer service substitutes program, and the Library Foundation's Development Resource Group. Ben has also served as the Ohio Library Council's 2009 Intellectual Freedom Committee Chair and was chosen to be the 2017 Public Library Association Leadership Academy class. Ben currently serves as the manager of the Hyde Park Branch Library. Ben?
So Ben, you may need to swap out with Kathy so we can make sure that you get into the microphone there.
Hello, I'm Ben Lathrop. I'm the manager of the Hyde Park Branch Library.
Welcome.
Thank you. At the end of September, we closed our 110-year-old building on Erie Avenue for much-needed renovations. 7 days later, we reopened in a temporary location in the nearby Hyde Park Plaza, which is technically Oakley. Our goals for this space were twofold. We needed to continue to meet the high demand for library service in Hyde Park. And we also wanted to maintain our direct connection with the community. Hyde Park's generally in the top third of branches when ranked by visits and circulation per hour. And while the volume of holds placed and picked up at Hyde Park has remained steady, our move to the temporary location has disrupted that overall usage. They're down, visits are down about 28%. Our circulation is roughly 22% less than what we had last year during the same period. That said, our experiences with other temporary locations has taught us that these dips are to be expected and will correct in time. In fact, our visits and total checkouts have been trending upwards since our opening. And by our 6th week, our circulation per open hour was already up 30%. Programming, particularly for families and children, has been one of the key ways that we've connected with our community in the past. And in this regard, our temporary location has not missed a beat. Over the summer, our on-site story times averaged about 27 people per event, but our average attendance since opening the temporary location has been about 30.5. We set a post-pandemic record of 51 the week of Thanksgiving, partially due to the guest turkey that we had. And additionally, we partnered with the Hyde Park Neighborhood Council for their Trick or Treat on the Square event and drew a massive crowd of 200 people for that special event. And that was super cool, very crowded. A less measurable and no less important sign of our service to the community are the just general reactions that we hear from people throughout the day. Our customers love the bright and open space. They love the thoughtful arrangement of everything, and they're very interested and supportive in the changes that we're planning for our Erie Avenue branch. And especially grateful to have just some kind of library presence in the neighborhood during the interim. We actually had a person just dip their head in the door and yell, "I love that there's a library here," and then run away because they were being loud in the library. But it's going great. Happy to answer any questions, or I'll stick around afterwards if anybody wants to talk more. Great. Come and see us in Hyde Park.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I will note that about 3 days after they opened that branch, I was on Nextdoor reading something, and I came across a lot of discussion about how people love the new Hyde Park Library. And I was like, don't get used to it, it's just temporary. So then other people are like, it's just here for a minute, it's just here for a minute. So I do agree with Ben, people are really excited that it exists.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Library of Things, Seed Library in Walnut Hills. A newly launched service in the recently renovated Walnut Hills Branch Library is the Library of Things, a seed library. The branch circulates flower, herb, and vegetable seeds for customers to grow in home gardens. Seeds can be checked out of the library for anyone to use in their home or community gardens, and customers can contribute seeds from their garden to the seed library using envelopes that the Walnut Hills branch will provide. With a generous donation of starter seeds from Bacon Florist Home and Garden Center, the Walnut Hills Branch Seed Library is off to a great start with a large collection. Human Library in Pleasant Ridge. The Pleasant Ridge branch, in partnership with Community Happens Here and the Cincinnati Coalition Against Hate, planned and hosted the region's first Human Library on November 12th. The Human Library is an international initiative where readers borrow a human book for open conversation with the goal of reducing stigma and judgment. Over 200 people borrowed one or more of the 23 human books who shared their stories on topics including bipolar, profiled, veteran, priest, Jewish, and alcoholic. Passport service continues to increase in 2022. Since restarting the U.S. passport acceptance service in spring of 2021, following a pause in service due to the pandemic, CHPL has seen a steady increase in the number of applications we have processed. In 2021, staff processed 484 applications. As of November 28, staff had processed 1,115 applications. The volume of customer questions about the passport service and the required documents needed also has increased, with most questions handled by the Virtual Information Center and the Genealogy and Local History departments. Currently, we have 4 locations acting as acceptance facilities: Main Library and the Anderson, Harrison, and Sims Township branch libraries. The Corryville branch, which also provides this service, is currently closed for a capital project and will resume service once the building is reopened. Reading Branch launches bilingual family story time. The Reading Branch Library's newest youth librarian, Andrea Strope, began presenting a bilingual family story time in early September. Children and their families gather in the meeting room every Thursday, where they participate in Spanish and English stories, songs, and hands-on activities. While the number of participants started out small in the first month, with only a few families attending, in November there were up to 30 participants as word spread about this exciting new program. Adult Language and Literacy provides career and life skills. The Adult Learning Center, ALC, offers adult academic and workforce development assistance. The areas it supports include basic academic skill building, adult literacy, conversational English, high school equivalency preparation, online job assistance, and exam proctoring. From January to the end of November, the ALC had 3,917 individuals in-person sessions to help customers with a variety of needs, a 31% year-over-year increase. During that same period, the ALC conducted 112 virtual classes, with most of these classes spanning several sessions. Class attendance was 6,008, a 17% year-over-year increase. As the new year approaches, the ALC is offering 37 different classes for the winter quarter. Class topics include painting instruction, updating a resume, and avoiding consumer scams. Digital Greater Cincinnati Cultural Heritage. Digitizing materials and adding them to the CHPL's digital library makes them freely accessible to anyone in the world, raises awareness about collections and our common history, and helps preserve original artifacts so they don't need to be handled as frequently. To date, in 2022, the 6-person digital services team within the Genealogy and Local History Department has digitized 62,896 pages from 15 organizations or collections, along with more than 130 pages from over 800 local yearbooks. It's the end of my report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have our strategy committee. Mr. Hardy?
All right. Starting off with some civic engagement that we've been involved in. Our partnership with the Greater Cincinnati Voter Collaborative continues, and we're working to set goals to increase our collaborative voter engagement efforts across the city and county in 2023. This fall, the strategy division developed a new approach to voter education and engagement, where we included voter registration forms, application for vote-by-mail ballots, and the League of Women Voters voting guide in our regular mailing to our hundreds of homebound customers who receive library materials via the mail. We continue to provide in-person COVID-19 testing at the Price Hill and Sharonville branches in partnership with Hamilton County Public Health. We also developed a new schedule of in-person vaccinations and boosters at the Cheviot, Montfort Heights, and Reading branches, and we continue to provide free test kits at our drive-through locations in partnership with the Ohio Library Council and the Ohio Department of Health. Upon request of the Hamilton County Commissioners, we now provide the free test kits at the Forest Park and North Central branches so that we can serve the northern part of the county. We continue to connect our community members to health insurance education and options in partnership with Get Covered Ohio at branches across the county to ensure equity of access. GCO helps educate community members on eligibility for marketplace insurance, Medicaid, and Medicare, and how to navigate the best options for health care. The Hamilton County Board of County Commissioners announced the anticipated arrival of the new 513 relief bus in 2023. The bus will provide mobile community-based medical and social services to Hamilton County residents to combat health disparities and support the positive outcomes in underserved communities. We are in discussion with the 513 Relief Program Manager to confirm details on how we can host the bus in 2023 at several library locations across the county and connect our community members to these vital services. Meeting room usage, Regional Manager Tara Kressler, I hope I pronounced that right, and Customer Experience Manager Justin Rampa have collaborated with service and strategy staff to update the meeting room guidelines and create study room guidelines for customers. Across Hamilton County, we currently have 35 active meeting rooms at 31 locations and 52 study rooms at 14 locations. Since the October board meeting through the end of November, over 2,213 customers have made 133,000 reservations for meeting rooms and study rooms. This resulted in combined usage of over 36,000 hours in approximately 7 weeks. One of the biggest themes we heard from the community through our facility master plan engagement was the need for more community spaces. The guidelines have been refocused to reflect our organizational beliefs. Lifelong learning programming and events. The Winter Checkout Challenge begins January 9th and runs through February 24th. CHPL will challenge adults to stay in and check out and learn something new about exploring library materials and resources, both physical and digital. Participants 18 and up can stop by any library location to receive a free tote and tracking sheet, and those who complete the challenge will receive a CHPL mug and be entered to win a grand prize. Pauletta Hansel completed her year as writer-in-residence with a culminating event at Walnut Hills on December 8th. To date, she has hosted 4 writing workshops for 61 participants and 6 office hour opportunities for 25 participants. She has written 7 blog posts and produced 5 podcast episodes. In CHPL's 2023 writer-in-residence, Manuel Iris was introduced at the December 8th event. Manuel is a Mexican-American poet who was Cincinnati's 2nd poet laureate. Manuel won the 2022 Ohioana Reader's Choice Award for his poetry collection, The Parting Present. We are grateful for the Library Foundation for the support of the Writer in Residence program. In talking about our outreach services, we've worked with Aretha Flowers of the Promise Center to provide 150 library cards to students 4th through 8th grades. In the month of November, we served over 1,100 customers at 155 locations throughout Hamilton County. So far during the 2022-23 school year, Outreach Services has provided themed materials to support classroom curriculum for 451 teachers at 61 schools. We've also received $500 in appreciative customer at Maple Knolls Village for our efforts in selecting and delivering library materials. The funds have been designated to fund the purchase of CD players to be distributed to residents in need of devices to play audiobooks. Our marketing department updates, recent accomplishments. Next month, a mailer will arrive at the homes of over 22,000 CHPL customers aged 60 plus who do not have an email address associated with their library accounts. The mailer is designed to increase their awareness of relevant library services and encourage them to use the library. The mailer includes information about our outreach department's delivery service, quick details about our newest collections and upcoming events, shareable statistics, a customer story, and contact information for Ask Our Librarian service. The print platform was specifically selected to capitalize on this particular audience's trust in traditional advertising. CHPL's fall marketing campaign wrapped up in October with an 85% year-over-year increase in new customer accounts created in October, the most attractive part of the campaign. The campaign invited non-customers and lapsed library customers to either get a library card or begin using their library card again. Messaging was delivered using a combination of digital delivery and direct mail postcards. The digital side of the campaign delivered over 1 million impressions during its 5-week and 5 days runs through a combination of digital displays, video pre-roll, email, over-the-top video ads on television programming delivered using an internet connection instead of traditional cable satellites. I'm guessing that's the apps and whatnot. And digital out-of-home pieces. Direct mail postcards reached over 170,000 addresses in Hamilton County. We've recently relaunched a new cardholder welcome email campaign as well. Customers will receive staggered emails over their 90 days as a cardholder, promoting the varying services CHPL offers, ranging from placing a hold to checking out a telescope. With this year winding down, work has also begun on our annual report and 2022 year in review and FMP accomplishment videos. Look out for those in the first of this year. The Winter Checkout Challenge promotion will begin in early January. In talking about our strategic framework, the marketing department created an infographic of the new strategic framework to provide an impactful visual that shows how the different components of the framework connect with each other. And we've got Exhibit A that outlines that.
It's also on the board here, so, you know, take your part.
With that concludes my report.
I was looking at All right, thank you, Mr. Hardy. Next, we have our technology report. Mr. Olson?
Thank you, Ms. Clemens. The library has been selected for both the Ideas Worth Sharing and Top 10 Winner Awards in the Citizen category of the 2022 Special Districts Technology Innovation Showcase. Our submission was Bridging the Digital Divide, which highlights the now completed Institute of Museum and Library Services, IMLS, grant-supported, all caps, SAVES grant work with the Cincinnati Museum Center that provided access to technology and programming focusing on grades kindergarten through 5 and seniors in 5 local communities. Next level computer access controls. Using deeper functionality of our computer network access controls tool, IT is implementing new layers of protection and transparency for staff accessing sensitive personal computers in the course of their work. This audit functionality will further mitigate internal and external threats. Books by the Banks 2022. On November 19th, the revived Books by the Banks Author Festival exceeded expectations with 90 authors, over a dozen panels and author discussions, including a discussion by Holobrem Heger with the best-selling R.F. Kuang, Activities for Kids, 2,000 attendees, and almost $45,000 in book sales. It took 75 volunteers to plan and execute the festival, including about 40 on work time staff from CHPL. Such was the post-pandemic giddiness that one attendant donated $500 the next day with a note, "Wonderful event," on November 19th. One of the best times we've had in Cincinnati in 15 years of living here. Looking forward to the next one. So there you go. Back to you, Ms. Clemens.
Thank you, Mr. Olson. Next, we have our Development Committee report. Ms. Redding?
Thank you. This is for information only. Development Office, the library has been the grateful recipient of several gifts since October, including sizable bequests from the estate of Shirley Long in memory of Virginia Lewis for the Hyde Park Branch and Skyline Chili. The Library Foundation. Since October, the Library Foundation has been the grateful recipient of several significant gifts as follows. Carol Hell Estate, Gilman Family Fund of the Greater Cincinnati Foundation, the HBEW and F.R. Luther Charitable Foundation, Fifth Third Bank Trustee for the Period Product Initiative, Scripps Howard Foundation for Discover Summer, the Joseph A. and Susan E. Pilcher Fund, Anonymous, Catherine K. and Thomas M. Law, Elizabeth and Paul G. Sittenfeld, Margaret and Joseph Conway, L&T and Dr. Stuart B. Dunkster Designated Fund 2 of the Greater Cincinnati Foundation, Thomas and Janice Forte for the Elmwood Place Branch, Holly Varley and Scott M. Richards and Alan Margulis. The annual library employee giving campaign concluded on October 15 with 47% of staff participating. The fall campaign's public appeal features Foundation board member Jeanette Altono and her grandchildren and is underway. Discussions with the donor to create a new named endowed fund have concluded. The new Anne Grimey Dorsey Fund will support children's learning spaces across the CHPL system. Recognition of this generosity will be renaming the Children's Discovery Center at the Anderson Branch Library, quote, the Anne Grimey Dorsey Discovery Center, end quote. In addition to naming the space, an associated plaque that celebrates Dr. Grimey Dorsey's accomplished achievements will be installed. Friends of the Public Library. Sales at the used bookstore and warehouse continue to be strong, with a few significant donations resulting from the publicity about the theft of memorial donations for a long-serving volunteer. Anderson Township Library Association. The ATLA holiday sale was well received by the community and raised $10,276.70 through used book sales and basket raffle items. Thank you for the report. Stacy, what did we sell that was 76 cents or 70 cents?
I think it was a book.
A book. I round up. I always round up.
All right, thank you, Ms. Redding.
Thank you.
All right, we'll need to make a motion to approve our consent items. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You know, I got something, I don't know, it was a notice in the email that I did not know that you could borrow a telescope.
Yes.
I had no idea that that was part of the library. I
Yeah.
think that's really cool.
That's cool.
It's very popular. They're always checked out.
Always,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I think we started with 5 and went up to 15, and they've all been donated by Dean Ragus from the observatory.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's great.
And he trained our staff on how to use them so we can train customers.
Nice.
How long has this been going on?
It's about a year and a half, I would say.
It started during the pandemic because Dean over at the observatory couldn't really host anyone, so he said, these are just sitting here, Paula, why don't you guys do it, we'll see how it goes. So, there we went, exactly. Miss Clemens, that's right.
All right, motion to adjourn our meeting.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 2.
Times.
Okay, here we go.
All right, Call our meeting to order, our annual meeting. Roll call.
Ms. Allen,
Here.
Ms. Clemens,
Here.
Mr. Harding,
Here.
Mr. Hendon,
Here.
Mr. Olson,
Here.
Ms. Redden,
Here.
Ms. Reynolds.
Here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
I will turn it over to
that's
Paula.
fine. As you can see here, we have our 2023 officers and committees. A quick shout out, first of all, thanking Ms. Clemens, who was our president this past year. Yay! Judge Allen, who served as our vice president, and Ms. Cunningham Redden, who served as our secretary. And some of those folks will be repeating. So we see our president next year will be Nadine L. Allen, yay. Our vice president will be Diane Cunningham Redden, and our secretary will be Gregory W. Olson. So thank you all very much. The committee assignments are here as well, and they include our newest trustee, Ms. Reynolds, as well. So they're all listed, and with that, Molly, do we need to individual?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
Second.
Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Ms. Clemens.
Yes.
Mr. Harding,
Yes.
Mr. Hendon,
Yes.
Mr. Olson,
Yes.
Ms. Redden,
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Or actually Nadine.
Yeah.
Nadine is next.
All right.
Do you need the report? Do you want a paper
Yes.
copy?
I sure did.
Okay, if you just have that one page.
All right.
Yep, it's special.
This is pretty important.
Sometimes.
The report of the Human Resources Committee meeting. The Human Resources Committee meeting met on December 7th, 2022, at the Walnut Hills Branch Library. Committee Chair Nadine Allen and committee members Diane Cunningham Redden and Christopher Harding, as well as board member Gregory Olson, were in attendance. Staff members Paula Brandheger and Kyla Hardin were also in attendance. It is the recommendation of the committee that the board take the following action: appointment of fiscal officer and deputy fiscal officer, appointment and salary of the Eva Jane Romaine co-director. 1, appoint Molly DeFosse, chief finance and facilities officer, as fiscal officer. The board approved a stipend of $5,000 annually for the duties of the fiscal officer for Ms. DeFosse. 2, appoint Alicia Sanders, senior financial analyst, as deputy fiscal officer. Ms. Sanders receives no additional compensation for serving in this capacity. Continue the appointment of Paula Bremheger as Eva Jane Romaine co-director at an annual base salary of $250,744 for 2023. And do I need a motion? No. I move that the board accept this.
Second.
Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Ms. Clemens.
Yes.
Mr. Harding,
Yes.
Mr. Hendon,
Yes.
Mr. Olson,
Absolutely.
Ms. Redden,
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Woohoo.
Thank you very much. Okay, I think Molly can do this one.
Well, Mr. Hendon, do you want to do this one, or do you want me to do this
Well,
one?
what is this?
It's the appropriation for 2023.
Why don't you do it?
Okay, I will. So the annual appropriation resolution and estimated resources for 2023. The Ohio Department of Taxation has set our 2023 public library fund receipts at $52,314,578. And Hamilton County has estimated property tax levy receipts of $38,672,461. Using these amounts, total general fund resources are estimated at $91,988,000 as follows. Table breakdown there shows you the totals.
Whoops, let me get down to it.
You can say it out loud.
It's, you want me to read these numbers?
Thanks.
That final number
That
right there.
$117,388,000, that's a
Yeah.
combination of the 91 million and then the
Right.
carry forward that we
Correct.
mentioned earlier.
I just like the sound of that. That's a good number. That's a good number. It's a good number to work with.
It is recommended that the 2023 general fund appropriation spending authority be set at $93,750,000, missing a zero. Distributed by account as follows. Overall, the 2023 budget includes merit increases based on performance, funding to supplement Employee Ohio Library Council dues of up to 50% of the membership cost to $45 per employee, and support of current operations and planned initiatives. Although the current year budget does result in a deficit, it is in line with the projected ending fund balance of approximately $23.5 million at 12/31/2023 that was included in the facility master plan timeline of capital transfers. The next table details breakout between salaries, retirement benefits for each of the categories. It's there, I'm not going to read it. In addition to the general fund, estimated resources and appropriations have been prepared for special revenue, capital, and permanent trust funds. These recommendations plus unencumbered carry forward balances for all funds are detailed in Exhibit A and summarized below. Trust fund principals, a total of $6,775,149, are excluded from the permanent fund balances. So the first column of the table is the carry forward from this year, and then the estimated resources, and then the annual appropriations. The building and repair fund includes the items that we plan to do next year, and then the special revenue and permanent are in line with current spending. And I kind of say that down here. So the special revenue and permanent fund appropriations include routine spending as well as appropriations from the Armstrong Fund to be used as necessary in working towards our supporting staff morale, support in the community engagement process, both which may include the purchase of refreshments, and to supplement the tuition assistance plan. It is recommended that the board adopt a resolution to provide the expenditures during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023, the resources of the library to be appropriated at the fund and object levels as outlined in Exhibit A. And upon approval by the board, this information will be submitted to Hamilton County Budget Commission as the library's 2023 annual appropriation resolution and certificate of sources available for expenditure. And there's, I think, 7 pages that detail all of the items.
Now I want you to take all this home and read all those lines in revenue.
Light reading,
Yeah.
indeed.
So we do need a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Clements?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Hendon?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Ms. Redden?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Okay, there's one more, and I can do this one real quick. This is an easy standard one. As part of the annual meeting, we, in accordance with section 337532 of the Ohio Revised Code, we are requesting approval to execute 2 public official bonds in the name of Molly DeFosse, fiscal officer, and Alicia Sanders, fiscal manager, deputy fiscal officer, each in the amount of $500,000 for terms commencing December 31st, 2022 and ending December 31st, 2023. And then the resolution authorization for bank accounts. The annual change of officers of the board and the annual appointment of a fiscal officer requires notification to our banking service providers. In addition, they require a resolution of the board assigning the authority for financial transactions. It is requested that the board adopt the resolution attached as Exhibit A, which is based on the provisions of the Ohio Revised Code, sections 337532 through 38. Our bankers also need to know who is authorized to enter into contracts and agreements. As previously established, the attached resolution designates that the fiscal officer, deputy fiscal officer, and the president or vice president are jointly authorized. The resolution also incorporates the specific resolution requirements of Fifth Third Bank. Finally, the proposed resolution states that the Eva Jane Romaine Coon director or fiscal officer is authorized to sell donated stock. I need a motion and a
I
second.
motion to accept that.
Second.
Okay. Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Clements?
Yes.
Mr. Harding?
Yes.
Mr. Hendon?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Ms. Redden?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Thank you.
So we can move to close this meeting?
Yep.
Okay.
I'd like to move to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy peasy.
Ms. Allen?
Here.
Ms. Clements?
Here.
Mr. Harding?
Here.
Mr. Hendon?
Here.
Mr. Olson?
Here.
Ms. Redden?
Here.
Ms. Reynolds?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, and on this one, it is pretty straightforward. It's just the approval of the minutes and from last year at this time, and the election of our directors who are listed there. I'm happy to go through them, or Stacy, who I think is involved, can answer any questions you might have. But this is the director of the Library Foundation. We are presenting this as the slate for re-election to a term expiring in 3 years. Paula Boggs-Muthing, Michael Dantley, Kelly Harvey, Ed Lloyd, Scotty Knox, Maurice Stewart. That's it.
So we just need a motion, a second.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.